Hi there gamers, welcome back to Cryptic Gaming. Today we're going to be playing Skull and Bones.
Alright gamers, we got some pretty good updates for you. So, in case you're unaware, there will be a special edition of the deck on Twitch. If you're not sure what Twitch is, it is a streaming platform, and you'll be able to find, a lot of times I stream to it myself, but Ubisoft is going to be doing their devs. They're going to be on the deck. They're talking about some of the things coming into the game here in Season 2. So I do recommend that you catch that to stay in the know. Now, one of the things I am going to show you here with the helm, I want to explain this real quick, why I'm doing it this way. So I have 496 pieces of 8 here. Now, when I go into this factory, I am not currently on the highest selection of pieces of 8 that can be paid out. If I start and I swap this production over right now, I will lose all those 8. So you want to manually travel out to the location, interact, and collect those 8s. Then jump back into your map, because you don't want to be wasting any silver. And you want to manage and then upgrade that with the most. What your highest payout is going to be. Or whatever type of, if you decide you want to do cobalt or mopine planks or, whatever the material is you decide you want to do, that's fine. Just make sure that you collect before you switch that out. Otherwise, you're losing your 8s, and I don't want to see anybody lose their 8s. So, something else. If you go to Blackwood right now, there is a chained link. It is called a furniture, and it helps protect your weak spots in PvP situations or even in PvE. It's going to come into play later on in the game as well whenever they get to Season 4. I'm hoping to touch a little bit on that. What I see happening with the game, and it's going to be pretty exciting for a lot of you guys that are coming in. This is the reason a lot of us started playing, is if you've ever played the Division 2 and you had the Dark Zone, that's what this essentially is going to become. Here in Season 2, we're seeing the build up coming into it. Now, Ubisoft likes to build you up into it slow, so understand where they're coming with it. You're going to have Oaths of War in Season 2. Now, I had a guy comment in that it happens in Season 3. Go look at the official roadmap. It is Season 2, Oaths of War. The DMC takes over a megafort. Now, rumor has it that there is going to be a megafort right here built by the Campaign Royale. And that is where the DMC will be taking that over. I've heard Grand Fort, but I've heard that location there. If you go to that location, and we're going to swap by that location as we're collecting these 8s to update our payouts here, you can see the foundation of that being built currently. Now, when you used to come over here just a few weeks ago, you could come up and it was just a basic foundation that was almost level with the ground, and you could kind of see where they were getting ready to start laying some foundation. But there's actually walls and towers being built now, and you can see scaffolding and stuff. So it's really cool how they've added that into the game, I think. But I wanted to share that with you in the video and talk a little bit about what's coming here in Season 2. We will be getting the large ships. Now, the first large ship that we get is the frigate. Now, there was a question asked about PvP. Are the materials that you get permanent? Well, the materials that you get in the chest, yeah, they're permanent. Once they're in your account, they're in your account. If you're talking about the ultimates, I can't answer that. I'm hoping to address it on the deck. We'll see. As all I can say is we'll have to wait and see. I don't see why they would release it and then not, except for the fact that it is a beta. If you look, it says that it's currently a beta. And something we've learned with betas is you might open it up, but you might not get to keep it. So I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll just have to wait and see. They've not had any official word. In fact, they've not even let out any kind of word at all on it. So no idea on that. But what I can tell you is you definitely want to make sure that you're grinding it out, at least to get to your perks that you like the best. To me, the pest, the floor stuff that kicks out the poison clouds all over the water, that's probably one of the better ones. And then, of course, the hunter perk, that's a great perk to have on the PvP, so I'd recommend playing long enough to get those opened up. The Zamaharabu and the Lepest call ship and the ghost ships, bring man goat, they're okay. They drop so super fast that I don't know that it's really worth it. Let's check this location here. I want to make sure we are maxed out here. That one is good. And this one is good now. So we replaced that. We didn't lose any 8s. It added what silver was left on that funding back to us, and then it refunded off of the basic. So you're getting part of your money back, but you do have to refund that for the full time, just so you're aware. Okay, so the Mega Fort location is going to be, like I say, rumored. Let's check it right here. But you can see that there's a lot of changes going to be coming to this game. When Dark Zone opens up, I don't know what they're going to call it, but I expect the aspects of the map and the current PvP stuff is going to be aspects of that map. You know, the waterfalls, the volcanoes that are sending the brimstone and stuff into the water. Excuse me, guys. It's kicking the lava flows and stuff into the water and all that. I imagine those are going to be aspects of that territory when it comes out, when it finally comes out. Now, will the ultimates and stuff, for those who are unaware what I mean by an ultimate, if you look at your ship, we'll have to do it at the base, but there's a place for you to choose an ultimate, which can only be used in deathmatch PvP right now, or your Death Tides PvP. Now, I'm hoping to see that will implement in the Northern Territories later when that finally comes out. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, there's some other aspects a lot of folks have asked for. Are they going to have anything for PvE players? Well, yes, they are. They're going to have something in Season 4. They've released a little bit of information on it as far as it's called a Hunter's Guild. For those who are not sure what that is, you're going to have a large ship. You're going to open up a Hunter's Dhow, which is going to be different than the current Dhow that you have. It attaches to your ship, and you're going to be using that Hunter's Dhow to take and hunt down your Kraken. You're going to be able to hunt your whales and things like that. Those are going to be coming. So this is the new location where the fort is going to be, is what's being rumored, and I do think that they're correct on it. So if we look here, we're seeing that there's looking like there's going to be some tower here. There'll probably be a tower over here in the corner. There's probably going to be some more on the corner. We're seeing some walls, some siege walls coming up. These are probably going to be cannon siege walls. But it's going to be a rather large location, like I say. So this is supposed to be one of the crowning areas, from my understanding of past information that the deck has given. This is going to be one of the crowning forts that the Campaigning Royale is building. Which makes sense, considering, Campaigning Royale's right there. Going to definitely be larger than the other forts that the Campaigning Royale has. But it sounds like the DMC will be taking that over, which causes a conflict to hit the seas. Now, once you choose a faction, when you take an oath of war, and you choose, say, the Campaigning Royale, if that's who you choose, then everywhere you go that is DMC or allied to DMC, those ships are automatically going to be aggressive towards you. They're going to have a natural aggro on you. So that's something you need to be aware in the game. Now, for those who are wondering who you should join, I can't tell you that. What I can tell you is speaking to our Discord leader, Why So Serious, yesterday, and he wants to join the DMC, and I agree with the reasoning for that. Is if you look at the forts and the current munitions and stuff and the ships and things like that, they seem to have the better technology. Now, will it be faction specific on release for ships and weapons? I've not heard anything on that, so I don't know. But I do know that most of the higher paying stuff is over here anyway. That's where we spend most of our days. So why sit over there to have ships aggroed on you all day? So that's kind of what we're looking at. Now, if you look at this location, you have a few of the little, a few towers. But most of this is just mountainous. There's not really anything per se on it. So definitely going to be a huge upgrade to a fort that they're building over there. I can't wait to see what it looks like completed. I'm hoping to see, I don't know if it's going to immediately be DMC, if there's going to be some kind of a cutscene when we log in or what. Now, you may be looking at some of the stuff down below, like the Ascension modules, planetary gear sets, wood pitch, and stuff like that. Well, how do I get where I can build that? That's going to be in your upgrades. So that's Campaigning Royale, which would be up here. So we would actually have to get to this location here. There's an Ascension module here. so we can build that. One of the things I am currently working on, Clan Farah, I currently have upgrade part production, but I want to get another Ascension module. So I'm 25,000 I need. I've got 9,800 of it right now, so I'll probably be farming Megafort here shortly. I'm just trying to get my locations here set up where I'm producing the most. Now let me check this one here. Looks like I'm actually at the maximum for this location as of right now, so, but we're going to go ahead and pick it up since we're grabbing 8s anyway. But if you don't pick that piece of 8 up before you change what you're funding, you will lose the 8s in that bank. Will it give you a warning on there and stuff? I don't know, man. It says, are you sure? It doesn't tell you fix to lose your 8s. It just says, are you sure? And it'll say that you're going to get a certain amount of silver back, and it's going to change and then recharge you what you're putting in there. And same thing if you switch it from pieces to 8 to materials, make sure that you harvest the 8s before you switch it to materials as well. Because I found out one of the hard ways, I didn't do that when I funded up my capital Houston here. There wasn't but like 140 of them there. But I just switched it over, and 8s was gone, that it go in the bank. So something to be aware of. Don't do like I did. Make sure that you pick that stuff up, guys. Okay, we're going to head over here to Blackwood. Now, I'm going to put up some information at the end of this video, guys. And y'all look at it, tell me what you think. But from what I can tell, this was released to the, what they call, it's called Gaming Bible. It's a source of information for gamers. A lot of this information comes out from within companies. Now, it doesn't tell you who those sources are, but there is some information coming out about large ships. And the frigate in particular, but the rest of them are supposed to follow along with this. So currently when we upgrade a ship, we will go to the shipwright and we will pay materials plus pieces of 8s, upgrade parts, or a masterwork kit to get that final upgrade. Now, it sounds like that's going to change. Now, it may continue to have those aspects, but they're going to be adding something called expeditions. And from what I'm gathering, like I said, I'm going to post this up to the end of the video. It's going to be easier to see it there. But from what I'm gathering from the information is, with the expeditions, you are going to be changing not just the level of the ship, you're going to be changing the aspects of that ship. Perhaps various DPS changes. You can change what type of DPS it functions off of, or the overall function of that ship. Maybe it's a tank, the way that you're running the expeditions, or maybe it becomes a DPS ship where you can use it as a warship, or perhaps it becomes more of a support ship. But it sounds like, from what it's saying, that they're going to be changing this stuff out, and they're going to have it where we could actually switch some stuff out in this game, which would be pretty cool. That was one of the early aspects that they had looked at with the game. My understanding is, like, say, we'd just use for an example a galleon. So with a galleon, you could turn it into a man of war, or you could turn it into a treasure hauler, or you could turn it into a healer class. Playing around with some ideas. And it sounds like they're actually bringing that into the game. So that's going to be pretty cool, I think, personally. But we will look at that, and I need to show you something on here. For those of you who are running the PvP aspect in here right now, if you have a maximum amount of ships in your fleet, you can hold 40. If you have all 40 ships in your fleet, it pays out little rinky-dink ships like the Badar, and and all the way up into, it will give you every class of ship, one of them, not blueprints, the actual ship itself. And if you do not clear space out and keep some spots moved and open for that as you're playing that, you're going to fill this up, and you can potentially, I say potentially because it can happen, I've had it happen to me, where you will actually lose a ship that you've built or been working on upgrading. So this is one that they gave. It's a sloop. It's a sloop right here. So now I've got a sloop, so I don't really need that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manage this ship. And I threw some weapons on it. It was just more or less to pick up some pieces of 8 for level 2 bases and stuff. But I don't really need it. So what I'm going to end up doing is selling this thing. So how do you do that? You got to go to sell. Now, if you go, well, I'm unable to sell, which was actually a comment that was in there. You're unable to sell, or you're unable to upgrade. Why is that? The reason you're unable to upgrade your ship, let's come over here, and you don't see that ship. Well, obviously, there should be a lot of ships that we could upgrade, right? but you're not seeing them. So why not? Well, the reason you're not seeing ships that you can upgrade there is because you haven't assigned to pick up pieces of 8 somewhere. So the quickest way to fix that would be say, okay, let's come over here. We're going to assign the ship to pick up 8s. So first you got to find your ship. We'll reassign. Then we're going to unassign. Now when you come into your shipwright, that ship should show up that it's ready to be upgraded, or you should be able to come in here and manage and sell your ship. So that's what's going on with that, guys, if you're running into that situation. So we're going to go ahead and sell this thing right here. Now if you put weapons on it like I've done, they will return to your inventory. Not a big deal. Should you sell your Dow? I don't even know if you can. Doesn't look like you can. So, but I do try to keep a 1 level 7 around. I keep a few 8s. They do good on picking up level 3 bases. I do have a 9 here. A 9 and 11. These work okay for level 3 bases. They'll pick up, if they get a higher amount, you can pick up like 420, I think it is. And then once you start getting to your level 11s, they'll pick up the 610s and higher on your boats, guys. So those are some things. I hope that answers that question for you. I forget your name, but you did ask quite a few questions, so I'm trying to answer everything I can in this video. If I missed something, my apologies to you on that. Wasn't that I ignored it, just got a lot of information I've been asked about. So let's see, we've covered Death Tides, we've covered that, and payouts. It was asked about if you're in a crew, meaning if you're in a crew. I want to show this because we've got some new guys in Discord. I'm not sure you know how to add folks that are cross-platform. I am on Xbox, so if you're on PlayStation or PC, when you're in this current map here, where your journal and all that, if you're on PlayStation, you're going to press the triangle button. If you're on Xbox, you're going to press the Y button. But I always add people in Ubisoft to the Ubisoft friends list, because we are cross-platform here. We play PC, it doesn't matter. You're able to do this. So when you press that Y or that triangle button on console, it's going to bring up this social menu. And when you come to requests, you should be able to see where I've sent you a request. If I've requested your gamer tag, you're going to see that. Now, if you've requested my gamer tag, and it's here for everybody to see, Cryptic Gaming 723, you're going to be able to find me inside of Ubisoft. You're going to find Cryptic Gaming in there. Just send me a request, man. I will see it pop up on screen, or when I log in the morning or in the evenings and stuff. It's going to show up in requests, and I will add you on there, so that way you can actually join up. What I do ask is, whether you're in Discord or just a random player, if you want to join in, when you join and you join the server where I'm at, make yourself known. You're welcome to farm around with me and stuff like that, but understand I leave my stuff open to bring Discord groups in, people that are farming new stuff and all. So we got a lot of new players. If you look here, I'm in tier 1. If you look out here in the water right now, let's just hit sell. See how many people's actually out here in the bay. But I've been in the server helping some brand new players. When I say new players, I'm talking brand new players. I am in, this is not the ship I was wanting to be in, but there's a lot of smaller ships here. So what I've been doing is I've been helping some of the newer players coming in, just running some of their missions and stuff. Now the problem is, some of those missions, for those who are unaware, you have to come in, you have to hunt down these gatherers. Now they have a respawn. Now it used to be like every 7 minutes, but it seems like it's every half hour. So when one guy comes out and blows up his little setup gatherers, the next one has to wait another half hour. So hopefully they fixed that, they trimmed that down. They did add some new changes last night. If you're, say, battling Megafort or anything, and you decide, you know what, I want to go ahead and fast travel. So you come to a dock and you want to fast travel. Well, used to, if you had an aggro on you, it said you're in combat, and you couldn't fast travel till you dealt with it. And even then, sometimes it wouldn't go away. So what they've done now is they now have a 10-second counter. When you come up next to that area, you see a counter pop up and say dock in, and it'll have a counter start kicking on. And once that hits 0, counting down from 10, you can dock immediately. So that's going to be nice. There's a 10-second cooldown, so you can actually dock in there. I do recommend doing that, using that, because it's going to help you out a lot, guys. But I'm going to hop off here, and again, make sure you check that out. Comment in below what you think that's meaning. Like I say, I'm just telling you what it looks like to me. I don't know. There's no official word. Hopefully they're catching it in the deck tomorrow night. Y'all have a wonderful day.